First of all, thank you so much to Velammal for associating with Classminds in this amazing competition, Velammal Spell Bee 2022. And thank you for sharing our vision of providing students an insightful and fun learning experience.
Classminds is super excited to launch this exciting mega offline oral spelling bee event, Velammal Spell Bee 2022, which is taking place in October and November 2022. Now, this spelling competition is a one-of-a-kind spelling bee competition, as it is an international standard innovative oral spelling bee competition, which is open to students all across Tamilnadu. Now, why do we need an oral approach to spelling? Why is this an oral spelling bee competition? Harpita and I strongly believe that the joy of spelling should not just be limited to written tests and memorization, because as you all know, these are all ineffective ways to learn a language. As we like to say, English should not be learned as a subject. It should be learned more of a language. And you should learn the English language in a more practical, hands-on way. When you students join Velammal Spell Bee, you will learn how to pronounce words correctly, fluently. You will gain the self-confidence to come onto stage and spell a lot of words, enriching your language, spelling, communication skills, and boosting your self-confidence at the same time. And remember, this is not just a spelling competition. All the key skills that you take away from this competition will be useful throughout your lives. And over the past 2 years, we've all known that we've been battling through the COVID-19 pandemic. There had been a lot of restrictions, there was a lockdown, and there was a lot of limitations, and we couldn't organize an offline spelling bee. But now, Classminds is super excited to announce that we are launching this mega offline event. And I'm pretty sure all of you students and a lot of parents all around the world are eager to know this.
Now, I have a question. How many of you have attended a spelling bee competition before? Can you raise your hands? A few hands up. Okay, how many of you are interested in attending a spelling bee competition? Interested in spelling? I see a couple hands up.
Only a couple hands up.
But trust me, that is going to change by the end of this amazing learning experience. And as Harpit mentioned, due to the pandemic, we didn't get the opportunity to organize such an amazing mega event. I think we were held up in online classes and all of that. How many of you enjoyed online classes over offline classes? I want to see an honest answer. Not many? Okay, that's great because we enjoy seeing our friends too. I see one hand up over here.
And I never enjoyed online classes too.
We love meeting our friends at school. But yes, we invite all of you students to come and participate in Velammal Spell Bee 2022. This is a fantastic experience because you will be able to showcase your spelling skills to the world and compete face-to-face live with peers from across Tamilnadu. Now, a short message to students and parents, especially to all of you. This is not just a mere competition. So many of you didn't raise your hands when I mentioned if you had attended a spelling bee before. So you don't have to be a champion speller to take part in a spelling bee. You don't even have to be a speller, in fact. You just need to have a passion for learning words or just an interest for learning, essentially. So this is not just a mere competition. It is a fantastic learning opportunity that we don't want you to miss out on. So during the spelling bee competition, we will soon be having an orientation session where Harpit and I will be going over tips and tricks and right approaches to learn the fundamentals of the English language. Now, Harpit mentioned something. You should learn English as a language and not as a subject. What do you guys think he meant by that? Does anyone have any clue? Okay, do you want us to help you out? When we say learn something as a language, not as a subject, we mean don't memorize. Now, memorization is something that a lot of students do, but through this spelling bee competition, we will teach you that learning words can be a very fun and enjoyable experience, and it is also something that will help you throughout your lives. It's much more than just spelling. Now, you might think, all right, we have spelling bee competitions, but the impact spell bees have go way beyond just words. And what do I mean by this? Communication skills. because words are the fundamentals of the English language, and by mastering the English vocabulary, you are going to develop your communication skills. Okay, bringing me to my next question. I'm talking about communication skills. Does anyone want to share, very shortly, why do you think communication skills are important? Just a really easy question, and we're open to any answer. There's no right or wrong answer, and we just want to hear from one of you. Raise your hand, and we want you to come up in front and share us your answer. All right, I see you all are looking at your friends. I want you to nominate someone to come in front and just tell us, why do you think communication skills are important?
Could we have one person from this column and one person from this column?
All right, let's do that. And I want you guys to nominate within yourselves. I see a lot of discussion happening now.
We'll give you about 10 seconds from now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
All right, hold on. Before we end, let's see which column nominates a person first.
3, 2, 1, and your time's up.
Time is up.
Could we have just one student come up then, if that's fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we have a huge round of applause? Can we have one student from this side? Now, this is something we see when interacting with a lot of students at plenty of schools. We were doing activities and we had almost 800 students in the auditorium. And we called out for volunteers. Guess what? It was dead silent. Not even one person raised their hand. But then there was that one person who started that chain reaction and came up to stage and broke that cycle of fear or getting in front of a large crowd. And I asked the second time, okay, we need some volunteers. Guess how many people came up? Almost half the auditorium. So it's just that little bit of nervousness that you need to come over. And thank you so much for setting an example for your friends here today. Okay, so the question was, why do you think communication skills are important?
I think communication skills are important because it acts as a medium to another person to understand a person's feeling or an opinion. So that's what I would say with communication skills are really important.
Thank you so much. That was a valuable point. Can everyone please give a huge round of applause? That is essentially a valuable point because by communicating our ideas, we're able to interact with people and understand people. Great, and we're not going to let this column go. We need just one volunteer to come up. I think we should start the countdown again. Can we have just one volunteer?
One volunteer.
Your answer could be really, really short. Come on. 5, 4. We want to see who the leader is going to be of this column. Who wants to take the leadership and just come up and give us one answer? Yes,
okay,
can we please have a huge round of applause? Thank you so much for coming up. And why do you think communication skills are important?
I think communication skills are important because to convey our impact on someone or to convey what we actually mean to someone, we need to have a proper way of communication. If we do not give them the impact that we want to provide, then they might misunderstand what we're saying.
Amazing. Can we please have a huge round of applause? The only way you're going to be able to impact people is by sharing your thoughts, and you have to make sure that your right thoughts come out and you don't end up misinterpreting something. So amazing job. Thank you so much to both of you who shared your thoughts. And yes, communication skills are essential for all students. In fact, it's considered as a life skill in the 21st century. And by mastering vocabulary, what many people don't realize is you're also setting up mastery for communication skills, for things like writing, having a good conversation, just being a confident communicator. There's something that we always stand by. Language should never be a barrier for students. And that's why spelling bees, they're not just spelling bees. They have much more of a deeper impact to them. So we invite all of you to take part in Velammal Spelling Bee 2022.
That's right. And now I just have a quick question. Who here wants to be a great public speaker when you grow up?
Or right now. I think many of you are good public speakers right now. Any hands up? I see hands up from the kids. Amazing. And a few hands up. Wonderful. Who here wants to be good at debating, or who here thinks they are good at debating already? Debate is a wonderful skill to have. I see 5 hands up. Don't be hesitant. I want to see those hands up really high.
Raise it nice and high up in the air.
who here thinks they're a good orator or who wants to be a good orator to
We have
lead
some
a group
hands
of
up.
people? Great, I
That's
see a
good.
few hands up over here.
And who thinks they could be a good writer?
A writer. Great.
We have hands up.
A lot of hands up. And you might be wondering, why are we asking you these questions? Well, mastering the fundamentals of the English language words will help you be good at all of these different skills. They will help you in writing, in speaking, in debating, and it's just the fundamentals that we are focusing on. So amazing job, and thank you so much for interacting with us. So we encourage all of you to join Velammal Spell Bee 2022. As I mentioned, you don't need to be a spelling bee champion to join a spelling bee. We all start out as amateurs, we're just trying to learn, but trust me, this is not a competition only. It is a good learning experience that you will find to be useful in more than one way. All right.
Now, I think that we've been talking for quite a while now, and we want to create that kind of spelling bee buzz right now, but there is one way we can do that.
And how are we going to do that, Harpith?
Well, right now, we are going to organize a demo spell bee session.
I see a lot of you are looking left and right. Do not worry at all. We want to give you a sneak peek into the competition experience. And as Harpit mentioned, there are a lot of spell bees that are being administered in a written format. But there's a huge difference between coming up to stage and spelling a word out loud than just writing down a word. Now, that brings me to another question. Do you guys know that there is one thing that people fear more than snakes? Can anyone guess this correctly? Amazing. Can we have a huge round of applause for the students here because they got it correct? It is public speaking. Did you know that people are more afraid of getting on a stage and speaking in front of an audience than actual snakes? I would rather prefer talking to an audience than coming across a venomous snake. But it's true. And the thing is, we want to get rid of this sort of fear, a fear of coming in front and speaking in front of a crowd or worrying what people are going to say about you, because at the end of the day, we want you to be your most confident self. So we're going to have a short demo spell bee round, and don't worry, we're not going to bring out 25-letter words. They're going to be simple words, but we want you to get a feel of the competition experience. So what we're going to do is we want about maybe 10 volunteers at max. So 10 of you are going to spell some words. And to make this a little more exciting, we will be awarding badges to those of you who come up, spell words correctly. So at least do it for the badges, even if you're a little hesitant right now. So you will get Velammal Spelling Champ badges. And I know all of you want to flaunt that to your friends, so definitely take part in this activity. And before we start, we'll explain the rules of an oral spelling bee format.
This demo spell bee session is quite simple. As Harpita mentioned, we'll have about 10 students come up. And as we call your name, you can come onto stage and we'll give you one word to spell. Before we give you that one word to spell, we want you to introduce yourself. When you introduce yourself, you can mention your name and your grade. Because when you give your grade, I will give you an appropriate word to spell. So let's say you're in the 9th grade. I will give you a word that's in the senior categories, not too easy or not too difficult.
So do not worry at all, especially for the juniors here. We're not going to ask you super tricky words. The competition works the same way. We will have different groups. We have sub-juniors, juniors, and then seniors. So it is going to be fair. Do not worry about all of that.
We have a maximum time limit of 1 minute for each student to spell a word. So you have to start spelling the word and finish spelling the word within that 1 minute.
But this is a demo spell bee, so do not worry. Even if you are stuck on stage, we're not going to push you off stage. We're just going to encourage you to finish the spelling.
And I'm just going to give you all a bit of encouragement. We're not actually timing you right now. We don't have the timer set up for 1 minute, okay?
So don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. And then a really important aspect that we want all spellers to follow is the spelling order while spelling. Now, what is the spelling order? It's a certain way that you have to spell a word. You have to pronounce the word first, then spell each letter of the word, and pronounce the word again. So to demonstrate this, I'll ask Harpita a word to spell. Your word to spell is typical.
So first I need to say the word, then I'm going to spell each letter, and then I'm going to repeat the word again. So typical. Typical, typical. Now, have any of you watched the Scripps National Spelling Bee videos before? A lot of you are nodding. Great.
Good.
So you'll notice that they use the same format, and you're probably wondering, why do they do this? Two things. We say the word at the start because we need to make sure that you've heard the correct word. So Harpit said typical. I might have heard something else like critical, and I might start spelling it out. And the thing is, you don't get a second chance in spelling bee competitions that are oral. So we want you to repeat the pronunciation to make sure that you've heard the correct word. Does anyone know why we repeat the word at the end? Any idea? Why would we say the word at the end once we're done spelling?
Do you have any answers?
Yes?
Yes.
Do you want to come up to
You
the
can
front?
come up to the stage.
Okay, we have one of our juniors who would like to answer. Why do we repeat the word at the end? What's the purpose of repeating the word? Yes, please come up.
We can double check if we heard the word correctly.
Okay, we can double check. Good try. And the main purpose is we want to know that you're done spelling the word. So a lot of spellers, for example, in the word typical, I could be like C-A. Maybe I don't know an L exists. And I could be standing there waiting forever. So we want to know when you're done spelling the word. That's why you say the word at the start and repeat the word at the end. So are you guys clear with this whole spelling order? Okay, I think we need an example. Okay, maybe we'll call up one of you and we'll give you a word to spell. And would you like to demonstrate the spelling order for your peers?
We have one person.
One volunteer, please come up. And it's going to be a very, very simple word. I see a lot of people saying no. Okay, yes. Could we please have maybe two of you come up? Yes, please come up.
Two of you.
Can we
please
have
come
a
up.
huge round of applause for the people who are coming up? Yes, yes.
That's good.
Just an example. So we want you to say the word, then spell the letters, and say the word again. Let's do an easy word. Your word to spell is apple.
Apple. A-P-P-L-E. Apple.
Wonderful. Amazing. So did you see how she got it on the first try? She said the word, spelled the letters, repeated the word again. Okay, and we'll have one more volunteer. Your word to spell is garden.
G-A-R-D-E-N.
Now make sure you say the word at the start, and then spell the letters and say the word at the end.
Garden. G-A-R-D-E-N. Garden.
Amazing. Can we have a round of applause? Wonderful job. Okay, we will be handing out badges to these two students. And yes, even though this wasn't the actual demo spell bee, just to encourage them. So I hope you all understood. It's a very simple format, but a lot of students aren't used to this because, again, we have written tests rather than actual oral spelling bees. So congratulations to these two students, and we will just be handing out these badges. Ma'am, we request one of you to please come up
you
and
hand
badge
over
the
the badges,
students.
ma'am.
And it's great to see we don't have a lot of juniors here today, but this competition is open from sub-junior category to the senior category. Yes, can we have a huge round of applause?
Round of applause.
Okay, take this time to decide between yourselves who's going to come up and spell some words. Think of it like representing your columns, all right? You can send your best spellers, that's okay, but we want you to think of your volunteers right now.